Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am deleted scenes human being American and YouTuber Ronan, and I would like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood and 21. This series chronicles the 1990s cult classic television series Twin Peaks. Its prequel movie, Fire Walk with Me, its 25 years later sequel series, The Return, which ran on Showtime in 2017, the multimedia surrounding it, and the films of David Lynch. Joining me this evening, the superfans. Last call, Troy Pacelli.
Hello, hello.
His better half, Netters Network.
Good evening.
And the president of the Flappy Fan Club, Aged Boomer.
Happy to be here. Flappy was a big fan of Whippets, apparently.
That does not surprise me in the slightest. Not at all.
I do want to say hello to a few people who have joined us in the live chat. Jamie Lynn Simons is with us. Channel member JPRPH1. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chip Productions. It's Connie Clear. Scrolling down, I want to say hello to the Tired Midnight blogger, Curtis Selby. Creator of the 10-Word Review and host of Films with Friends, Big Al Presents. Friend of the channel, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights.
What's up?
Good to see you, sir. All right, we got to do a little bit of housekeeping. Now, from time to time, there are certain guidelines that have to be followed on YouTube and Cosme and some of the other platforms that we do these shows on. And one of the things that actually popped up today is a situation involving bots and spamming. Now, very quickly, I do want to explain for those of you who might be new to my channel, at least, that there are only two things that will get you either A, kicked out of a chat, or will get you a channel ban. Now, if somebody wants to go on during one of these watch parties and say, oh, where's the movie or where's the show or we're going to take your channel down, I'll just mute them. And again, it's one of the situations where a number of them turn out to be bots, or these people who've supposedly been on YouTube for 14 years, but don't have any content and don't have, any subscribers. You will run into that from time to time. I'm not really talking about that. That's more of an annoyance than anything else. Now, what will get you knocked off of my channel is one of two things. Anything racial is out. I will not put up with it. I know there's kind of a lot going on in the world right now, and everybody has their opinions, but that's something that's going to get you kicked off if there are any slurs of any kind against any group. Another thing that will get you a channel ban, on my channel anyway, I cannot speak for my panelists, but I'm sure they'll agree with me on the last one and certainly on this one. Mm-hmm. If someone decides to use my channel or its comments or the chat to threaten the life of another YouTuber,
Oh,
which has happened before. I will absolutely fucking not put up with that. Now, that has
Language
not
justified.
happened on this show, but it's happened at other points.
Mhm.
You can agree to disagree with someone, okay? But this is YouTube. It is not life and death. But I am bringing this up right now as an example of what will get you knocked off of my channel. Now, there has been, and apparently not just here on YouTube, but on other platforms, and not just on our channels, but on other channels, where apparently there's been a lot of spamming and bots, you know. That's something that we have to be careful of, guys, because if YouTube or Cosme or Discord or any of these other platforms start to think that the people who are watching our shows are bots, we get penalized for that, and our channels could get affected. Now, we want the feedback. We love the chat. You know, you guys are part of what makes shows like this one work. We like the interaction. But you do, but if you're going to interact with the chat, there are things that you have to be careful of. There are certain words and phrases that you got to be careful using. You have to be careful not to spam the chat. Now, one of the things, for example, okay, is that if you start like making references to things that have nothing to do with like the subject of the show, every once in a while, that's fine. Okay, I do it. Everybody does it, but you do have to be careful about the number of times that you do it. I'll give you an example. Okay, if you're watching 1883, but somebody makes a lot of references for some reason to Blue Thunder, one or two is fine. But if you start doing it for the entire show, you got to be careful of that, because YouTube or Cosme or Discord and these platforms, they're going to think you're a bot, and they're going to start to think that everybody in the chat is a bot. And, you know, we lose our chat and our channels get affected. Now our channels, we have our audience, but in the scheme of things, we're not very big. We don't make a whole lot from this. So whenever issues like this arise, that affects our channels. So what I am asking you all to do tonight is to just kind of police yourselves for right now. If somebody is starting to look like they're going to get out of hand, what we're going to do is we're just going to say, you know, let's edge things back on over to what we're actually talking about. So consider that kind of warning number one. If it continues, that's going to be warning number two. If somebody still doesn't get it after that point, I'm going to start deleting off their chats. I'm basically going to start putting them in timeout. If you come back from timeout and you continue, I'm going to have to take you off. It's as simple as that. And I don't want it to reach that pitch, which is why I am taking the time out of the show tonight to let you guys know that, you know, this is not just coming from us. This, there are standards and practices, there are guidelines, and YouTube does not always let us know when we're drawing outside the lines, let's say.
Mhm.
So when Troy and I kind of get these little messages from, on and off from different platforms to watch out for this or that, we choose to follow them because we don't want to lose this show. We want to continue it the way that it's gone, and we just be careful, guys, in the chat, not to go too far off onto tangents about other things, because we don't want that platform to think that you're a bot, because if they think you're a bot, they're going to make us kick you, and we don't want to have to do that. So that's basically it. I'm sorry I had to take the time out, but it is something that we have to look out for. And like I said, there are major reasons for why I will be willing to kick somebody off of my channel. Thankfully for me, it's only happened twice. And it was for the two reasons that I gave at the beginning of the show. But we got to be careful about like spamming and bots and stuff like that, because it does happen. And we want the chat to continue, and everybody has their jokes and wants to make references to other things, and one or two of those is fine. But if you go down the line like the entire show and do it, we can't have that, because they're going to think you're a bot. So we there are rules. We're trying to follow the rules. So we're just letting everybody know, ahead of time. And like Connie says, this is an issue that happens quite a bit on Cosme, I've noticed. But it happens in the YouTube chats too sometimes. So, just police yourselves. Like that phrase, think before thumbs. Think before you post. And that's basically all that I'm asking.
Spam belongs in a can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I also want to add
correct.
that y'all are blue wrenches. Those of you who are blue wrenches, you're blue wrenches for a reason.
Yeah, don't be afraid to step in and say, "Hey, let's get back on track here, guys."
You're given that responsibility. Use it.
Do what you have to do. Those of you who are wrenches from my channel, well my mind. Okay. What I always say, don't start a fight, but finish one. If you've got to go and proverbially break, then you got to do. But I don't expect anybody to get out of hand, but if it does happen, we will have to do something about it, guys, because it's not just about the show. There are guidelines, and we got to follow them.
Yep.
So that's basically, I just want to tell you guys what's going on behind the scenes. This is behind the curtain kind of stuff. But, we don't want to lose any of you guys, but at the same time, we don't want to lose our channels over something stupid. So, these shows are about fun. We want to bring you this show. We love that there are people who are coming in new every week,
Yep.
and we want that to continue. But, there are rules for the chat. There are rules for YouTube. There are rules for StreamYard. There are rules for Cosme. There's rules for Discord, and whatever platform you happen to be on. be smart about it. And as Troy says, engage your thinky bits.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, before you post anything that could be considered spam or offensive to people or anything like that. Okay. I'm just putting this out there because this is something we got to keep an eye on now. So we got eyes on us. So we gotta follow the rules. So anyway, that's the end of the housekeeping behind the scenes things. Tonight's episode is Arbitrary Law, and this is the episode where
Speaking
the
of
Laura,
YouTube rules.
yeah.
I thought that would have been a good transition.
Yeah. This is the episode where the Laura Palmer case comes to its conclusion, at least for the ABC version of the show. It does come into play in season 3, but for right now, this is basically the episode where it ends, and basically. The idea was that the case was never going to be solved. It was just going to be the MacGuffin that was going to lead into the town and the rest of the stories that were going to take place. I was always of the mind, personally, that it was going to get solved, but it would be solved at the end of the show. Or at least, if not solved, there would be enough clues there that we would know what happened and who did it. Unfortunately, a certain network executive by the name of Bob Iger.
Yes, that Bob Iger.
Yes, that Bob Iger did not see things that way. And basically, he's the one who started the ball rolling on getting the mystery solved. Therein and henceforth, essentially fucking up David Lynch's ultimate plan for the show. And be careful who you let run your networks and your studios and whatnot. And we've been over that. So anyway, if the Cosme link is up, which I will have to check and see if that is up on my channel or not.
It is, but you would have to pin it yourself.
Yeah, I gotta. Okay. All right. On my channel, it is the room. The Cosme room is pinned. I am on my way over there as we speak. And we will get started with the episode, and we will go a little deeper as we do. All right. All right. So if we are ready, Troy, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Flappy.
Yes.
So a couple of bits of trivia here. First, this episode marks the second Emmy nomination for Kyle MacLachlan.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the last appearance of both Ray Wise and Cheryl Lee in the ABC run of the show, although Cheryl Lee is credited in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there's a third actor, Al Strobel, is also, this is his last appearance within the span of the ABC show.
And remind us again which character he played?
The One-Armed Man. Mike / Oh, what was his real world name? Mike's
Philip Gerard,
Philip Gerard. Right.
based on the of course the character from The Fugitive.
Right. We haven't talked a lot about the Log Ladies introductions that they did during the Bravo re shows of this, but the one that she did for this one stands out. She starts out with, "So now the sadness comes," and that is so true.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs here.
Yeah.
This is also the first episode where Frank Silva is credited as Bob.
You can already tell this is going to be an important episode just from this intro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Save Stargate.
Exactly. Again, I don't think we're shying away from spoilers. We all know, heck, even just from the last couple episodes, we know that Bob's host was Leland Palmer.
Mm-hmm. And he is spelling out Robert with the letters, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Finish this. And here's where I finally started liking Albert.
I like that because he really doesn't believe in any of it, but he's willing to grasp at straws.
Yeah.
And
He
Albert,
knows he knows Cooper believes it.
Yeah.
and Albert
Whatever
is
your method is, make it happen.
Sorry.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No, go ahead, Boomer.
Albert, in his
Please.
own way, cares about the victims too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have always suspected that he does care about people, and that's got to be why he got into law enforcement. But everything he's seen over the years has gotten him so jaded that he's completely lost all the human niceties. Doesn't mean that at his core he doesn't still care.
Wave him off. I always say that.
Oh, James, you are so dumb. Laura pegged it so right.
It's so mean but true. Oh.
That can be arranged.
I have to imagine the Princess and the Pea is apt with this lady. Her fate.
Oh, jeez.
I'm joking. I don't even like the menus.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, what kind of a recommendation is it? She runs a diner. She cannot afford, you know?
Oh, Schnapple.
Whatever you have to tell him, you should have told him a long time ago.
Yeah, well, you got to keep the show going.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, Enigma, because I was just watching a video recently about the Woolworth lunch counter. I mean, typical diner, right? And it literally was intended to be a lost leader. They lost money on the Woolworth lunch counter because their real goal was to get people to come in and have lunch and then be there in the mall, in the store and whatnot and shop. Draw the connection between this scene and the last scene of season 3, The Return, where they go to the house and there's somebody else living there, you know?
This is a stick up. Give me all the money. Oh, wait.
That's an interesting response. Yes, it is. And what's unspoken is, and yet it happened. Inconceivable. Yes, exactly.
Hello to Michaela Jeanette. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for subscribing.
What do you think Gerard's blood pressure is like now?
Who knows? Well, that didn't help.
Like a ring. Exactly. Of course,
Oh,
the
but are
question
you
how
real?
real that is. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's the problem. It's not up there. You're not supposed to understand. You're supposed to feel it. Trust your feelings, Luke. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We may have asked this. We may have answered this question before, but does this actor indeed have one arm?
Yes, yes, he
Okay.
does.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that's not a special effect at all. That's
Yeah.
casting, somebody that was perfect for the role.
Gotcha.
Imagine that.
Indeed.
Mhm.
So Enigma Severus says, so have I forgotten how the man lost his arm? Because it would be cool if Bob ate it. So remember, there's two aspects here. There is the real human being that is Philip Gerard, who lost his arm in a car accident. However, Mike, the entity from the lodge, claims that he cut the arm off to remove some sort of a demonic tattoo because he had a conversion. The arm that was removed, the spiritual arm that was removed from Mike, is literally the dancing dwarf. He is the arm.
And of course, that's going to be a setup for later.
Maybe, baby, I'll have you. Thank you. How did you know?
I heard the microwave beep before you came down.
Oh, thank you. It's actually a 50-50 probability.
Yes, but we know how she is with words.
Yeah.
Look at that face. She's liking the idea of them having a fist fight, isn't she?
She likes him being assertive. That's why she gets annoyed when he starts being polite.
Meanwhile,
Mhm. Something illegal in nature. Interestingly, that's true. He technically is falsely accused.
Of course, I look at him. I go, "What did she ever see in him?"
Money, property, power.
I bet he's thinking I know that foot.
Yeah. Hey there, Tarantino. Ah!
Don't do it, dude.
He's gonna do it.
At least keep your dignity.
Yeah. No.
He's already on his knees. Bless you, bless you.
Thank you.
I will admit, even knowing that she was Tajimura, you look at her and you're like, man, that's a good makeup job.
Oh. You know.
Don't drink anything he offers you. I've seen that picture before, John.
Oh yeah.
And should she be
Now,
smoking in someone else's
Enigma
house?
says she shouldn't be smoking at all. Enigma says Bob is wanting to come out. I agree, but I'm going to say something else. His reaction to her glasses, right? Recognizing them as being Laura's makes you wonder if Bob is already planning her to be his next victim.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which, of course, would connect to the whole thing with the sweater in Fire Walk with Me. You know, her realizing taking my clothes, taking my stuff, whatever, puts you at danger of getting Bob's attention. Okay, Jamie, what does Power Rangers have to do with anything that we're talking about here?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that we were talking about before.
Yeah, a little less Power Rangers, Jamie. Please.
That gum you like is going to come back in style.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that line.
Now, you were talking earlier about the whole Bob Iger thing and having to force the mystery. And I think what hurts the most is that we don't know exactly how these last, I don't know, well, all of the episodes this season so far, would have played out if they were done exactly the way Lynch wanted. You know, it was very clear. We were seeing all the clues very well, clearly. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't mean to say it that way. To figure out who it was. Would we have gotten the clues given to us that clearly if they weren't going to do the reveal? Okay. Interesting idea, Enigma. Let me read the comment. I wonder if the items that belong to Laura are Bob's property, so to speak. Laura's things are Bob's property, so to speak. Yeah. So I think Bob sees it that way. But more importantly, even putting all the spiritual stuff aside, he is a creature of predation. He is, and a serial killer, so to speak, following the same rules, the same mentality. So anything that ties one victim to another is good game for him. But there's also a more meta through line. Cooper was talking about his ring previously. There's the other ring that ties people to the lodge, literally acts as a gateway to the lodge. So this giving of a personal item to someone else, representing the movement of power or having power over that person. That's interesting. Was the character of Bob inspired by Bob Iger? I hadn't thought about that. It's too cool a coincidence to truly be a coincidence.
I think Bob is just one of these names that's, what is the word, innocuous? Like,
yeah.
Bob's over there. Like, Bob it's a very basic name. It's like Joe, but you don't want to use Joe. That'd be too obvious.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Like someone says, "Oh, Bob's coming by." Well, who's Bob? That could be any number.
Well, think about it too.
Million people.
Bob is the boogeyman in her story, right?
Right.
And who thinks of? We literally had lunch at that table there. Anyway, who thinks boogeyman, and they say Bob,
right?
Boogeyman Bob, right? That might be a reach, Enigma, but you are right. She's going to the woods like Laura with the same boyfriend. And the fact is, if you stay with her, you won't be happy. That's something he isn't wise enough to realize, but it is true.
Very similar music to Mulholland Drive here.
Ben Horn would not hold up well under an interrogation, would he?
Interrogation, no.
That's what I got from all this. Yeah, he cracks too easily.
Yes, I'm literally eating popcorn too. Now, in a way, I do kind of see this as sarcasm on the part of Lynch, but the makers of this show at the executives, Bob Iger and so forth. They're doing the whole TV formula. This is how it happened. And so they have to bring all the primary suspects. That's why Bobby is there. That's why Leo is there, Leland, and Ben. That's perfect. I like how it's Albert that looks up like, whoa. Okay, Nate. I'm gonna say it. Nate, is that you in your skinny days? I only said that because of your line previous on the lunch one.
I love his hat, by the way.
Yeah.
What did he hand him? Oh,
A stick of gum.
Hi, Kiba.
I've heard that before.
I love the freeze frames. This is brilliant. That was not Cosme hanging up on you guys. That was intentional.
there's the arm.
It's like they're literally crossing all the I's and dotting the T's, or whatever the saying is. I can't even remember my skinny days.
Go for it, Enigma.
At
Clever.
this point, he knows that Ben is not the killer. He is using Ben as the bait.
And notice how he said might. So
Yeah.
it's not a forceful thing for Leland to
Right.
come along. Yeah, because you want him to coax him into coming.
He just had nice coffee.
New shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
New shoes, yeah.
Ooh.
But I am an attorney.
Right?
Well, not at the moment.
So, Twin Peaks, David Lynch's purpose of this work: in order to catch a demonic killer, an FBI agent will need to go through the two dimensions in order to stop the demonic entity Bob. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, Jamie, just changing to another movie doesn't
Yeah.
keep you on topic with us. What does Elvira have to do with any of this?
Now I'm wondering if Bob was considering going to Buffalo,
Well,
new city.
so they make it very clear that Leland's awareness throughout this multiple personality situation is vague at best, but he's gonna remember it all shortly. A lot of people have drawn a connection between that line there, what's going to happen in just a moment here, and the whole "gotta light" thing in season 3.
I'm sorry, but I hate his smile. He looks like the freaking Joker.
Yep. Actually, he would have been a good Joker. He's got the right face if he was
Yes.
made up right.
His mouth is the correct
Mhm.
mouth.
Mhm.
I don't like him. He's creepy.
So here's the fateful moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because Dick's going to set off the faulty sprinklers.
This is weird because that smoke alarm is not connected to anything else. It's just an alarm. Actually, both are true. reuse of the lines from the European closed ending. In a Facebook Live Q&A, Kyle McLaughlin stated that this shot of Ray Wise screaming in the sprinkler water that appears like rain is his favorite shot in the entire run of the show because it was so beautiful.
And I'm sure him slipping on the cement was not scripted. It was
Probably
actual, because when we did our safety class, they mentioned how many pounds of pressure there are that come out of those things.
Yeah. In Philosophy of David Lynch, Simon Riches draws comparison between Leland's death and Cooper's use of the Tibetan method. Using an excerpt from Desire Under the Douglas Firs, Entering the Body and Reality of Twin Peaks, a critical essay by Martha Noshimans, Rich explains that Cooper acts as Leland's spiritual guide, which is a narrative realization of Cooper's Tibetan method.
Oh.
Does Cooper know he's dying?
Yes. Perfectly filmed, great pacing, the timing of them turning off the water just as he dies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is the line of the series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah, good point. Yeah. An excellent question.
It's searching for a new vessel.
Yep.
Owls are not what they seem.
Horror fans don't find it too hard a stretch to believe a demon possessing someone for years and using the host for their own interest. Bible talks about it, a lot of them. Yeah. Look, and it's not just the Judeo-Christian Bible. I mean, this is universal. This is this kind of thing. And, you know, this is why I say you could be, you could believe Tibetan mysticism, you could believe Christianity, Judaism.
We don't talk about Judy.
Yeah, we don't talk about Judy, right? Here's a question I'm going to throw out to you. He kept saying they. He wasn't just talking about Bob. He was talking about they. Now, I've always kind of tended to believe that he meant, you know, the sum total of the of those in the Black Lodge, right? So Bob and the Arm and the Traufonts, and you know, later we'll see the lumberjacks and so forth. But I'm wondering if those aren't just other manifestations of the children of Judy, just like Bob, right?
Now, remind me, do we see the Chalfonts after this?
Not within the span of
think so.
this show, no. Next time you see them is retroactively, you see them in Fire Walk with Me. Do we see them or aspects of them in The Return?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember. Yeah. Well, we will be getting to that not too long from now.
Actually, no.
As my professor said, all religion.
Yep.
Chat's jumping. All religions know there is a problem with humanity and its place in the world. All religions know there is a shortcoming and a problem with humans. Christianity is the only one that discusses a resurrection and personal sacrifice. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right. I think when he said, and you know what, going back to that thing about personal sacrifice, the idea of sacrifice has always been a part of all religions, but it's almost like humanity is trying to manipulate the spiritual realm, right? The only and I'm speaking generally. I know it's going to sound like I'm speaking in Judeo-Christian terms, but I'm speaking very generally. The only payment, the only sacrifice that can be made is blood. Blood is the only thing that has power because it's life. Blood is literally life. And there's all this mysticism, you know, of killing an ox, killing a lamb, killing a whatever. And it isn't really until Christianity that says, yeah, you know what? The only way is killing these animals is just symbolic. It requires a real, true sacrifice. The only way is your own life. And your loving, benevolent God does not want that for you. So he's willing to give his own life for you. So you need to be willing to give your own life. It literally costs everything. That's why they say you must die and be born again. You literally have to give up your life in service to God, in this regard. And but there is that absolute through line of and this is also why Christians talk about being bathed in the blood of Christ, washed clean in the blood of Christ, because only blood sacrifice can atone for the evil of the world, or your portion of that Garmin Boja, so to speak.
As far as Leland goes, though, is he responsible for what transpired, or isn't he? That's the thing.
Simple answer, yes. More complicated answer, yes and no. Here's why. And this all comes down to, it's funny, we just had a SCOTUS ruling about the vampire law, right? The vampire law being the states that want to make it where you can't go into public locations that have that don't specifically say you're allowed to come in with a concealed weapon. You can't make that the default statement. You can say we don't want guns here, but you can't just assume by them not saying so. Reason being, just like a vampire, they must be invited in, right? And that again talks to a much older folklore. Evil does not come in unless invited. That goes before vampires. That goes to the concept of possession and so forth. And I think there's a lot of films that have dealt with possession that have touched on this, and there's some that just don't quite get it. There is the movie The Exorcist. The movie The Exorcist definitely plays with this. The novelization gets into it in a way the movie really couldn't. But you're dealing with a young woman, right? She's a child for all intents and purposes, but she is of an age to know the difference between right and wrong and so forth. And so let's not stand on pretense. She was innocent. No, she wasn't. And if the movie didn't make it clear that her playing around with the Ouija board wasn't literally an invitation to evil, to an invitation to come in, then there's things in the book, let's say, where she more overtly invites another entity into her, so to speak. I can't go any farther than that. It's disgusting, but it's corruption is what it is. And it's very clear from the Secret History of Twin Peaks and things that Leland said in the span of the show that this Robertson, right, maybe a host before Leland, right, some real person that he met as a child did some really, really bad things to him and promised him a way out of whatever he was doing to him. And in searching for a way to stop being tortured, he acquiesced because it's very clearly what he was saying that Laura fought against. She didn't give in. She was willing to die rather than to submit. And unfortunately, he submitted. So was he responsible for all the decisions that Bob made with his body after that? No, but he was responsible for the initial sin of inviting him in. And yes, the alternate option might have been his death, but we're talking some pretty big stakes here. Laura made that choice. And I would argue that choice was taken away from her by Dale Cooper, or he will have done when we get back towards the end of The Return.
Hmm.
But
Well, we'll get there. Well, actually, I keep forgetting. We don't have to worry about spoilers because we've already run through this.
and Enigma brings up Nefarious. I have not seen this movie, but I'm not surprised if it touches on some of the same themes I was just talking about.
I have not seen it either, but it does have a very interesting premise of this of a psychologist going in to speak to a death row inmate who's about to be executed, who basically says to the priest, well, I am a demon, and that's why I did what I did. And it becomes this debate between the two. It got marketed as a horror film, but it's really a debate,
psychological thriller
between the two of them. Yeah.
Heck, even if you assume that he really was a demon in the religious, mythological, folkloric sort of way, it's kind of like the Screw Tape Letters. Then, you ever read the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis? It's literally letters between two demons talking about how to corrupt human beings. It's very insightful and a little bit scary too. I was talking about some of these corrupting elements literally today in Liquid Lunch. When I get on my soapbox talking about modern neo-Marxists and their cultural vandalism of our movies and so forth, this deconstruction, which, remember, deconstruction is literally destruction, right? Of aspirational, hopeful, inspirational heroes. What they're literally trying to do is destroy the foundations of morality and of basically our society. And it's really no different than whatever you believe, literally or figuratively, what demons do to corrupt humanity, and they always need a vessel, don't they? Because they're not allowed to touch anything, but they can get you to do stuff for them.
Well, on that note, we do have to begin wrapping it up because Mystery Night will continue with the casebook of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes,
over on Troy's channel. Would you like to?
Yeah, and I do apologize that I didn't announce this sooner. Didn't realize it until tonight. The actual story that we're going to be doing is oh God, what's the name of it again? Let me bring it up for myself here. Where's my mouse? I got the wrong mouse.
It's the Master Blackmailer.
Yes, the Master Blackmailer, which is from the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes is all short stories. They're not like long novels or anything. I want to say this was like a 4-page short story. And when Granada did it, they blew it up into an almost 2-hour teleplay. So we're only getting the first half of it tonight. I can't do, the whole 2-hour thing, but because it's just not how I have the show structured. But I will get into it because I'm going to have to talk through the fact that it is a Granada choice, and there are some choices that Granada made that some of the purist take some umbrage with. We'll talk about that tonight. But anyway, long and short of it, the first half of the Master Blackmailer.
And what else do you have?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, and then Friday. I am actually out of town Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but I will still have Last Call, which has been pre-recorded, and did I say Liquid Lunch? And Last Call, which has also been pre-recorded. Thank you very much, Aged Boomer. And we are going back to the first third, I guess, of 1986 to talk about the pre-summer films of 1986. And then come next Monday, members join me for one of the movies we discuss on Friday. I haven't decided which one yet.
So many good ones.
Yeah, I know.
Netter, what do you have coming up?
Well, let's see. Right after this, of course, I'm going to be co-hosting with Troy over continuing the mystery movie night of Sherlock Holmes. Thursday, I don't currently have a guest for Thursday things, but hey, I love hanging out with y'all, so we're just going to hang out. And then, like Troy mentioned, we're out of town Friday through Monday. Returning, we'll be back Monday night. So I think Troy's going to try and do his members movie night. Mm-hmm. So we should hopefully be back in time for that. If we're a few minutes late, don't worry, we'll be there. Yeah, and then next week, Tuesday, back here again.
Yep.
Right. Boomer.
Oh, I will, of course, you can catch me on Friday on the pre-recorded stream, Last Call. We'll be talking about the movies of 86. Geeky Geezers on Sunday at 9 Eastern Standard Time. We will be talking, we will have some stories, and I'll have special hosts, Deleted Scenes and Big Al with me that night again to sub, so that'll be fun. And then afterwards, I will be on your show, Reserved Seats.
Yes, sir.
So there we go. That's it.
Right on. Okay. Well, as for myself, after Sherlock Holmes, I might do like a quick unboxing. So I got a package today, so I might like jump back on for for about 15, 20 minutes or so, do a quick unboxing. And let's see. Thursday at 5:30, I'm going to be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater. This week's movie is Die Hard with a Vengeance. Bruce Willis with Samuel L. Jackson and Jeremy Irons. Let's see. Later on that night will be my program, Coming Attractions. We get to find out what I am going to be doing next week, up to and including my appearance Saturday night on Films with Friends. Subbing for Troy and Nutter. And this week's movie is The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Right. Then, of course, Sunday, I'll be joining Outlaw Bill once again for Western Cinema Presents as we watch episodes 7 and 8 of the Yellowstone Origin Series 1883. Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, and Sam Elliott. Later on that night is at 8 p.m. is my program, Unscripted. I'm not sure if I've done a best of 2026 yet. If I have not done one, then that will be the topic. If I have, then I have to come up with something else. But there will be a show either way. Of course. Right after that, Geeky Geezers, where I will be, as Boomer said, I'll be joining as a guest host. Boomer will be joining me for Reserved Seats. And we're going to get to a discussion of Zach Krager's Weapons. So we're going to be talking about that, among other topics, I'm sure. And, of course, join us right back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel for the next episode of Sparkwood and 21. All right. So, any last words before we wrap the show and head on over to Sherlock Holmes?
I think y'all are Osmo. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Agreed.
Right on. Okay, so I would like to thank everyone who joined us tonight, both here on StreamYard and YouTube on Cosme. I do appreciate it. Apologies for the earlier rant, but there are guidelines, and things happen, and sometimes real life intrudes. So thank you for bearing with us and cooperating with us on that. Appreciate it. And I would like to go ahead and I know this is a little bit off track, but I want to thank everyone who joined Sin Enigma and Rachel the Elder Millennial and I earlier tonight for our mystery movie night broadcast. I'm just looking at some of the preliminary numbers, and it appears we had over 200 people watching at one point or another during that show, which for that show for us it is a pretty good number. So I really do appreciate it to everybody who watched. Thank you once again to everybody who watched this broadcast tonight, and we will return next week. And as I always say at the end of every broadcast from HQ, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win. Stay through the credits, and you'll be redirected to Sherlock Holmes.